And from the top of the show, coming in from the big opening stinger.
Hey everybody, welcome to Wingman's Hangar, the final episode ever. Thanks a lot for all your support going forward, but this is it. We're now transferring the show to a community show out in Los Angeles, run by Ben Lesnick and the community team. It should be really fun. So today, we thought we'd take a look back at the 71 prior episodes of Wingman's Hangar, just to kind of give you an idea of where we've come from, where we are now, and then how we're passing the torch off. Should be a lot of fun, so come along for the ride. If you're new to the show, well, where the hell have you been? So keep up with Star Citizen. This is everything to do with Chris Roberts and the epic space adventure Star Citizen. So join us now and then join us later as we create new and exciting content in the future. Coming up today, we have forum feedback with your questions and a video. And as I said, we're going to take a look back at the last 70 episodes. Now, why? Well, because when you're watching this, I'm actually in the Manchester office. So we're shooting this on the Friday before the Wednesday. So we're a little ahead of the game here, but I think you'll like what we're going to show you anyway. So come along for the ride. This week at CIG, well, we have the Next Great Starship episode 15 released. It's a big deal, the final, it's live. We'll have Mark, Chris, and Sandi giving the inside scoop and let you guys vote on the final ship. Really, really neat stuff. And be sure to check out Chris on his 10 for the Chairman. Comes out every Monday. You get your questions if you're a subscriber answered directly by the man himself. Always good to hear. A lot of good information given out there. Go support that. Check that out on Mondays. And also, the week after this show will be the new community show, which we mentioned earlier. It's going to be really fun. I think there's some stuff in the forums that we're doing a logo contest for it. I think Travis Day is doing the first forum feedback, so be sure to get in the forums. Check that out. Get those questions answered. It should be really fun. And yes, Arena Commander was delayed last week. We were so close to getting it out. And all of a sudden, our character in the ship decided to stand up. He stood up in all the cockpits, and we were like, what the heck's going on? So somebody had submitted the change, kind of screwed things up. We have to test it a little more. It's okay. It's coming. If it's not out already, it's really close to being out. So it's really fun. I think you guys are going to like it. Just be a little patient. This is kind of why we want to be open. This is the way game development works. Nothing goes exactly as you plan it, which is exciting, scary, and fun at the same time. So, hopefully by now you're playing it. If not, you won't be very far away from playing it. And now it's time for
forum feedback.
All right. Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. This is kind of fun. It's a little different this week.
So sad.
I know it's okay. We're picking up questions from fans about the show, and there's been a lot of times we've had. So let's get to it, and we can answer it, and you see how you think. So the first question for you is, what was your favorite part of Wingman's Hangar, and when did you start?
Well, let's see. I started, I think it was like episode 25. So I've been doing this for a while. I didn't realize it had been that long, but it's been a good run.
It has.
Favorite part, raining on the parade on all the fun bits. I really enjoyed that. Or being left at the desk when you went off to do.
I liked your green shirt. Do you remember when you wore the green shirt and you could see right through it?
That was loads of fun.
That was really fun. That was cool. So that was cool. And what was your favorite fan submitted video?
Oh, so many possible choices. What's your favorite?
Well, I think there's a lot of good ones, as you said, but one that stands out in my mind, which I really, really got a kick out of, was Ken Shadow was hunting Legante, and he's like looking at the camera, and he's got a security cam. I liked how they teamed up. People teamed up, and then they had a security camera, and Legante's walking through the parking garage or whatever he's in, a spaceship garage, and Ken Shadow's like, I'm looking for him, and there he is on the thing, and I thought that was really well done. And
yeah.
There's a lot of
that whole sequence with all of them getting together, collaborating on it was really fun. I like B-Man and the B-Girls too, I have to admit.
Oh.
Stop talking about Star Citizen.
Probably the one that made me laugh the most, though, is Disco Lando. He had some really funny bits in there and we had one that he just made that was riotous that we could never show. It was just like, holy cow,
yeah.
That was funny. That was really good. So that will be that. And so also from Sergeant Tickles. Oh, I'm not even naming the names here. So
oh yeah,
the favorite fan submitted video was William George, and Premium Shank was asked about the favorite part. So from Sergeant Tickles, he asked me, I guess, So I got to ask myself a question. You want to
Ask yourself a question.
All right, you want to ask? All right. How has doing Wingman Hangar changed you at all in the sense of how information gets out to the masses compared to other projects you've done or future projects? How has it changed your view of the community? Well, Sergeant Tickles, that's a good question. It's funny because it's not changed much me at all as far as like personally or anything. I just think that's kind of, this is kind of a fun thing for us to do, to get out there. But it has changed the way we interact with the community and how we talk and go back and forth. And I've met some amazing people in the community from, locally in Austin and also in Germany was super fun. And went to Gamescom and at PAX East. So I think it's made me realize just how popular video games are, and how cool it is to be part of that. You get your head down and you're working on something, you don't really realize how much of an impact it has on people out there. So I don't think it's changed much as far as personally, but it has made you realize that video games are a lot bigger than I ever thought they were.
Plus, these people are so creative, and they get this outlet, and they participate.
Yeah,
they're eager to participate.
Yeah, and that's part of it, right? The letting them mod and be part of that. And but I've known that for a while. Like I can recall Half-Life playing that little level Rats, which was user created. And I thought that was amazing. So, hey, here we go. From Ping to Huey.
Huey?
I guess, a Huey, whatever. Has Winglet or Six Wing taken an interest in video production since he became a famous internet star? Yeah, it says pronounce his name any way I want. Yeah, okay, well, fair enough. Infamous maybe. But both Six Wing and Winglet are interested. I think Winglet's actually going to work here this summer helping us test this stuff. So it's pretty fun having the family involved and being part of that. It's that's always good. We've got a lot of people in the families that are helping out. From Weithel. Says, thanks for the shows. Says they'll miss us. That's nice.
That's nice.
If you could go back in time, is there one thing you would add or change to Wingman's Hangar? Ooh, I'll look at you.
Maybe get a different host?
Yes. Yes, for sure get a different host. Somebody with some personality.
Yeah.
Somebody that could, somebody that's a little more over the top.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times I've read if Eric was just a little more over the, I'm too laid back.
Yeah. Way too serious.
I know.
I hear that all the time.
I have read some comments on Reddit and other places that that they don't like me, and I'm sorry about that. I'd still buy you a beer. I know, right? Not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't know how much we'd change if we go back in time.
It just sort of organically flowed into what it was. I mean, it's not like we're being characters on the screen. This is just us talking to the people out there.
I think that's true, and I don't think really much that we change. It's sort of it's been fun to be a part of the change.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we change much. From Piet11111, has the Wingman's Hangar show caught the attention of other video game professionals, and what was the response regarding stuff like the quality of the show and the fan interaction?
That's a really good question, actually.
Do you have the answer to that question?
I haven't actually personally talked to a lot of people about it. I mean, I don't think anybody knows who I am in the game industry, but
I disagree with that. I think I've been talked to quite a bit from people about what this has done and what it means to people and how they feel that it's sort of changed the way information flows from developers. I think there's a lot of developers that would like to share this kind of format and like to share that information, and we'll continue to share it, with the new community show. But there's a lot of, when you're under a publisher, you really don't have the ability. You have the PR people above you. You have folks making sure that the message is homogenized,
sanitized,
homogenized, all the ized. And so I think a lot of people have approached. I know for a fact a lot of people have said, "Hey, we really appreciate what you're doing, and we think this is really cool." They've also said, "Don't screw it up."
For all the rest of them.
Yeah, for the rest of us, right. From Jiao Thun, are there any plans to release a Wingman's Hangar Collection Blu-ray with episodes 1 through 72, along with some special behind-the-scenes interview content?
That was asked more than once.
Yeah, we don't have plans for it now, but I guess if somebody asks for it enough, I mean, they're all on YouTube for you to see. They'll be there forever. You can check them out and see what's going on and see the hijinks and what's happened.
It's not something you really want to proudly display on yourself.
No, but there are some things that haven't been seen, and this is a great place for Mike to show a little bit of the Forbidden Fitzsmithy.
Don't answer for me.
And that was that. So if you check that out, maybe one day that'll get out to the masses, but that was absolutely hilarious. Whoever gets to come visit the Austin office, we show that. and it is 100% stinking hilarious. It's just probably a little too much. I mean, yes, yes, world, there is a line we will not cross. Shockingly, from Svan. Are there any Wingman Hangar bloopers? Yeah, parts you had to cut out that we might get a glimpse of. Well, you just did. And there are a lot more. Actually, we had lots of bloopers that, actually, to be fair, Mike, we didn't have that many bloopers.
Actually, most of our bloopers end up in the show.
The whole show is kind of a blooper.
Yeah,
in a
it's
way.
one big blooper reel. We do stop occasionally when I mess something up. Not usually people's names, but
that gets in.
Yeah. But we don't really have a lot of bloopers. We sort of are very open and honest, and that's kind of the way we roll. Jathreth Catharon.
You're welcome.
When will Rob cut his hair?
Oh yeah, the hair. Well, see, I was planning on getting that onto the show, but ran out of time. So there may still be a chance to do a bit on that. It's coming up very soon, actually. It's long enough now, so.
Yeah.
The donation will happen.
Yeah, now explain that. You're cutting it for Locks of Love.
Yeah.
Locks of Love, which is for people that have had cancer and you donate your hair and they create wigs for them. And
Yeah,
it's a pretty
which
cool
will be a
thing.
very thin wig, but hey, I do my part.
Yeah, not going to say that. Oh, from the Colonial Movers.
Oh, hello, Wingman.
Hey, Wingman! Wingman, we want to thank you and Rob and Mike and the entire team for 72 amazing episodes. One final question. Do you see some continuation of Wingman's Hangar in the future Star Citizen universe? Oh!
King Shadow sends his regards.
How nice of him!
Parley.
So will we see the Wingman's Hangar in the verse somewhere?
Oh, it could happen.
It could happen. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. I mean, I think at one point we're considering it, so we don't want to give too much away, though.
Nah.
So that's a cool question, and love the videos. Thank you guys for your contributions in those as well. All the video people, even Grey Wolf. Remember that one week he sent in like 7
Grey
video
Lobo,
questions?
Grey Lobo.
Which
is Wolf.
Woof, woof, woof. Yeah, well, that's true. It was just funny. It was like all those questions. That was hilarious. The last one from Musaku. Who came up with the name Wingman's Nuts for the show in the beginning, and why was it changed? Well, so who came up with Wingman's Nuts? Well, that was kind of me, and I just didn't quit the verse. And so Morlan and Roberts and everybody got together, and we made it into Wingman's Hangar, which fit the thing a little bit. Mike actually did like some sort of trailer announcing it, and that's where the first time I saw it called Wingman's Hangar, where it was definitely not Wingman's Nuts.
Oh, definitely not Wingman's
That was
Nuts.
really funny, and so yeah, that kind of riffed off that. So that was really cool. And now it's time for this week's most valuable post. So actually, it's not a most valuable post. It's a look back at how most valuable posts were created, and we're talking to Ben Lesnick. Hey, Ben.
Hey, how are you doing, boss?
I'm doing okay. So, we want to talk a little bit about, you've been a big part of Wingman's Hangar. You've been in most of the episodes, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. And so tell everybody how Most Valuable Post got created.
Well, actually, honestly, when we first created Most Valuable Post, it was because we wanted a pretty girl on the show, and she didn't stick around, but
Well, kind of.
But we got the second prettiest person.
Yeah, that's true. No, but the truth is, we were sitting around talking about we had done forum feedback. We wanted to expand forum feedback a little bit, and we thought, there's a lot of positivity that goes on in the forums that would be nice to highlight. And so, because sometimes forums can be a scary and dangerous place.
Yes, they can, which is why I'm very grateful to have Will now. But we absolutely want to highlight some of the amazing things people do in the forums. Just keep in touch with the community. I mean, it's a two-way street.
Right. So now you were on a lot of the episodes, and we did all kinds of things from bouncing heads to you, me, and Rob did we're dancing and stuff. Do you have any favorite moments that you can recall?
Well, I don't know if you remember my first episode where we talked about the design of the freelancer that almost got both of us fired.
I forgot about that. You used you mentioned a symbol, or it looked somewhat like a symbol.
Yes, certain object, and
Yeah.
So don't go back and look that one up, guys.
No need. I forgot all about that. That was really fun. And then, of course, we had the Oompa Loompa song.
That was incredible. I mean, it was always my favorite part of the week was sitting down with you and Rob and Pete and Michael, just planning out the week's Wingman's Hangar, because it really is the best way to interface with fans.
It was
Get
fun.
everything done.
We had a good run. It was a good time. You know, we've the focus of the game has to be the priority now, so that's understandable. And we've had a good time, and we'll still be around. I mean, you're still going to. We're not dying or anything here. We're just going into a little less of a time coming out. So that's really a poor way of saying it. So hopefully Mike will edit that.
You can pick that up.
I'll pick that up. So yeah, we're not like we're still going to be used. We'll still be part of what's going to happen in the future. But speaking of the future, what is going to happen in the future? What do the fans have to look forward to?
So we're gonna follow Wingman's Hangar up with a show produced out here in LA. It's called Around the Verse, and it's gonna be taking the formula that you guys have perfected and expanding it. We're gonna be able to interface, directly with Chris Roberts here in LA, with the guys doing the dogfighting module. But we're not gonna lose that down home connection to the fans. We're gonna bring our backers in wherever we possibly can.
Cool.
And let people see another aspect of Cloud Imperium. We have an amazing team here also who they don't get as much screen time, and you're going to meet them now.
That is really, really cool. So now, do you have a time slot? Are you going to be taking Wednesday, Friday?
It's going to be Wednesdays. Not sure if it'll air at exactly the same time as Wingman's Hangar or not. We're still working out that detail. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the goal is very much to continue what you started.
Well, listen, it's been fun dancing with you on camera, being silly and having fun. I mean, we went from not having much to talk about on the show to having a lot of really cool stuff to show, which is one of the reasons we're moving out there, because all the cool stuff coagulates in LA, and so it'll be really, really good for the fans to get to see more and more of the inside stuff. So I want to personally thank you for helping build it and allowing us to be zany and being part of the zany, crazy crew.
It was my pleasure, my honor. And this is not the last people will see of Eric Wingman Peterson. You will be on the new show. You're our man in Austin.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. And now it's time for, well, the final MVP, at least the final one on Wingman's Hangar.
Over to me.
Thanks, me. Welcome to MVP, Most Valuable Post, the segment where we tell you what the best post at the RSI forums was this week. However, since this is the final episode of Wingman's Hangar, we wanted to do things a little bit differently and award the prize to a group of people who more than deserve it. I'm talking, of course, about the group behind Wingman's Hangar, Michael Morlan, Eric Wingman Peterson, and Rob Irving. You guys give your all to the community every week, and it has been my honor to work with you for the past 72 episodes. We will be doing everything we can to try to keep what you created alive here in the new show in LA. And if we can fill a little bit of your shoes, we'll consider ourselves lucky. So, Michael, Eric, Rob, you are this week's most valuable posters.
Thanks, Ben. It's been a pleasure working with you on these things. I'm looking forward to what you guys are doing and being a part of that going forward. And thank you very much. Can't wait to see what's next. Now it's time for Fan Focus. So this week's Fan Focus is pretty much just kind of a look back at the fans and how important you guys have been to making the show, Rob. It's been amazing. I mean, we've had some incredible videos. They've inspired us with, Oompa Loompa things. And
Pages and pages of questions on the
yeah,
forums
it's
every
amazing.
week.
There is as much talent out in the community as there are here, and it's like it's been an amazing ride. And the videos, the characters they've created.
Yeah,
They've worked together on a lot of these things.
They're the reason this show exists. I mean, that's what
It's
it comes down to.
phenomenal. I can't believe that this has actually happened. I mean, nowhere else can you go out there and see fan engagement like this. And I'm from some of my favorite things. You've got the Christmas video was amazing. The 12 Days of Christmas. Do you remember
great.
that? That
Yeah.
was unbelievable. That was super, super fun. And we'll try to track some of these down and maybe get these in the last forum page so people can see some of these things in case you're new and you missed some of this stuff. As we said, Oompa Loompa and Disco Lando. Oh my God, that guy is riotous. He's been super funny. He created a kind of an end of the show one too, which is really fun, which we'll put in the things. You want to check that out. And Can't forget again Gray Lobo and all the new, the prodigious amounts of trucking and videos he put in there asking about moving stuff around the verse, which was really really fun. And Legante and Ken Shadow, those guys were incredible. I mean, they actually teamed up together and got Legante, Ken
Dr.
Shadow,
Hawk joined in.
Dr. Hawk was there.
Colonial
That's right, Dr.
Movers.
Hawk and the Colonial Movers. Dr. Hawk was
They've
like,
all been teaming up for years.
I know,
a year plus now.
They did that one where like Hawk was in the snow in Canada, like with a fire there, and he was in the crosshairs. So the fans have been amazing. You've been a huge part of the show. It's why we did this. I mean, basically for the first year while we're creating the content, we're making the game, it was pretty much about you guys and doing this together. And so I've really enjoyed being part of that, doing this with the fans and creating all these things together. We feel this is every bit as much your show as it is, Cloud Imperium's. It's just been a wonderful time. And so let's take a look back at some of the cooler fan-focused videos.
Motion community because of this.
Oh, hey there, Wingman. Didn't see it.
Hello, Wingman.
What if you drift into a black hole and nobody ever sees you again?
I am 8 years old. I love watching my dad play video games.
Will there be a healthcare or health insurance that will...
I call her Karen.
Hey guys, Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here.
Whereas regular gas
Limited to a mosque. Will it be possible to lean forward to see behind the support beams?
Am I going to be able to repair it?
I'm pretty sure they're not going to drop me off at Peterson right now. I really appreciate it.
So thank you very much, guys. Without you, there was no show. There's no Star Citizen, and we're really appreciative. I know Chris is very excited about it, and we like what we're doing. And say hello to Mike. How you doing, man?
Doing really good.
So it's been a good ride.
It has been an interesting ride. It's been interesting to be on that side of the camera
That side, and now you're on this side.
for a little while here and there.
Exactly. Now, so we kind of, let's talk about how the show's beginning, how it started. I mean, initially, we did a live stream, Chris, myself, Sandi, Martin, and some others, and Dave Swafford, and we're doing the 24-hour live stream in a friend of ours' office to launch this thing. And I got kind of bored with just being in there with the group and listening to people talk, and so I was like, well, I'm just going to go out and start my own channel. So I went out and grabbed a Ustream channel and started doing like chair races and like how quick I could go and touch Chris in the ear and run back, and the fans were actually timing the times and stuff. And so
Some other people were getting into that too. Sandi was jumping in.
yeah, she was doing this parrot thing, and they started calling her my parrot on my shoulder. So she would come out there. It was just kind of fun. And then we went to dinner and had a few libations and it got a little wild. We had Angry Billy on there for a while. So anyway, that's kind of how how it started. Chris saw that and saw the reaction of people and said, remember he said you guys should do a weekly hour show, and I was like, no.
That would be a huge project. How could we possibly do that?
And we can't do a weekly show. And he goes, well, just do 30 minutes, saying, give it a try. And so away we went. I mean,
and it was pretty rough when we started.
Pretty is an adjective that I would not have been using with that show. It We started out calling Wingman's nuts, which didn't last very long.
Yeah, we put a kibosh on that.
Yeah, we did. Although I was not involved in that decision, that just sort of happened, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's way cooler. So let's go with
Yeah,
that.
I sort of did an in-run around you on that one.
That
didn't
was
I?
fine. That was a much better deal. And then but we started out with just a couple guys in a room.
Well, interestingly, I had actually never done a webcam show.
Me either.
I'd never used a webcam. I'd never done any streaming of any of that sort of thing. But you and I went back, and you knew I had a background in video production and a variety of things like that. So I made the mistake of emailing you to congratulate you on the successful campaign.
That wasn't a mistake. And I was like, hey, you want in? But that's funny because I'd actually hired you as a project manager.
That's right.
Because you'd been a project manager for me before, and you'd been at Origin, and you were, with Tony Zervak on Crusader, and you were working on Ultima Third Dawn and some other things out there, and it was sort of a natural fit. But when you got here, you've been making movies the last 6 or 7 years, and you started doing things like live streaming and Switch. Remember the Switcher?
Well, we brought that in. I was looking at two dorks on a camera. I thought, God, we got to do better than that. And
unfortunately, that part is failed.
That's still true. We're still
one day maybe.
Now it's two dorks on three cameras.
Yeah.
We've gotten it that far.
Fair enough.
But what was fun was figuring out how to step up our production value, getting some graphics in there, getting some transitions. So I found this great tool that allowed us to do all this stuff and mix it up.
The live switching.
Yeah, we were doing it live, and that was kind of fun. But it got a little hairy trying to manage all that, switching back and forth. It was just me, and so we kind of made a decision to go to a pre-recorded format.
I can remember when that decision was made. We had shot some reference video of a female model for our animators to get the musculature and the movement and stuff, and she was topless. And I'd asked you to put some black bars on there because we don't, to be respectful.
Which I did.
You did, but
Sorta.
right before that you did, but just before the show ran, I said, let me see the black bars. And you're like, oh, they're there. Trust me. I go, well, let's just look at them. And the black bars were there.
They had magically moved to the right.
10 feet to the right. And so the black bars were moving perfectly,
they were bouncing along quite nicely with her.
But they were off frame. And so it was like, that would have been a disaster for us with YouTube and everything else. And so, but that's kind of how, and then we ran with that shtick from there. So.
Well, between that and just only being such a small production, we were doing this with the blessing of the subscribers, and we wanted to keep the cost of the show incredibly tight and small. So it wasn't like we could hire a big crew, and so we decided to get away from the live mixing because it was just we had a couple
close
bubbles.
Calls. Yeah, and it was tough. I mean, and that's true. I mean, live is great, and we do shoot this live, and we kept the live component by airing it live so that people could still get together, congregate, have fun, talk about it.
Well, that's the best part is watching the chat rolls and watching everybody react. And it's the best form of feedback too.
Sure, we find out what people liked and what they didn't like, and they're hey man, they're letting us know it's raw, so and we learn from that.
One of the fun things we added at one point was the green screen.
Yes, we added the green screen.
Forrest Stefan was kind enough to give us a background that he built for us.
That was really
cool.
So
he was the one who introduced it, and we brought that in. That was a lot more fun because we could do a lot more. We could do a lot more with the scene than just two people in a concrete room.
True. So we did improve over time. We got a lot of different sets and all that stuff. So why don't we take a look back?
Let's do it.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to the first edition of Wingman's Nuts. Welcome to Wingman's Not Nuts, but Wingman's Hangar. Episode 6. Episode 7. Space Loop YouTube. Space Loop YouTube. Whoa. Episode 10, 15, 26. Episode 38 of Wingman's Hangar. By the way, the belly shields, I am on a weight loss program. Am I too late? Should we start all over again? So hey everybody, welcome to Wingman's Hangar, episode 35, the Gamescom edition. Take a look at where we are now. I feel like the head of the table. Well, what was the summit all about?
It was a week-long planning session, basically.
He keeps pointing me at cameras, never sure which one to go to.
Scythe or Scythe?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Send it in. We just might use it. And after Mike bumps through that thing on the corner over there, which you probably heard on the mic, hey guys, where are we gonna see him? In the verse. So we have come quite a way since the beginning, as you can see, but it wouldn't be a show without all of the great contributions from all the people at Cloud Imperium Games, from Sandi to Chris to, well, people like Pete Mackey, the weather wizard. How's the weather out there, Pete?
It is really hot under these lights, Eric.
Okay, all right, I can see that. Why don't you come join us on the set? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
It's been a while since you've been on.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, we've had plans to bring the weather, but you've been actually mostly in Los Angeles recently.
Yeah, since it's pretty much since, well, I guess December.
Right, working on the dogfighting module, or arena commander, as it were.
Yep.
So, how did the weather? Talk us through the weather wizard. How'd that come about? What was that?
Wow. Yeah, that was so. As I recall, in the early days, it was me, you, Ben, and Mike.
Right.
And we were really trying to figure out like how to take it from Wingman's nuts.
Yes.
And the first couple of episodes.
Your face on that when I would say, "Hey, say Wingman's nuts," you're like, "No,
No.
I don't think so." Nope, not gonna do it, man.
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out like what
do we
show?
do?
Yeah, like how do we make a show? And I just threw out like, well, what if I do the weather every week,
Right.
And at that time the idea was that the shtick would just be that, like, I was doing the weather for Austin, not like in the universe,
right,
but
right.
but Austin being hot, it's always hot.
It's always, it's always hot.
So.
And it worked out because we ended up, taking you around to different areas and checking out the different locations, and then having fun with you because we killed you a couple times, I think. Yeah. And you remember we had you floating outside the window on a few of those?
Yeah, that was. I think that was Mike's idea, and it turned out like amazing.
I know. It was always fun.
Pretty funny.
We hid things in a lot of episodes for folks to find, and that was kind of the fun of it. And,
yeah.
And now we've had a lot of fun doing the show. There've been a lot of bits. So I'm glad you're able to come back, and I'm glad we got one last weather wizard in there.
Yeah, I'm glad
and
to be
then
back.
why don't we take a look back at some of the other stuff we did.
A lot. It's a complete sausage fest. I mean, it's just dudes and.
What do we have here? What are
these?
I'm not looking.
And everybody that's been a fan of this show knows that we like balls.
And cocktails.
And cocktails. By the way, we're being attacked by a gnat fly in here as we're speaking.
We've been pretty close together, but this is probably closer than we normally are in
Not by much. And I also want to, I'll take off my hat. Oh man, it's stinking. Oh, hey, you didn't know. I know. It's very nervous to be on a show watched by fives of people.
In character, which I will be.
The ability to open up.
How was the weather there?
See what I see? There's Michael. Welcome to Wingman's Hangar, episode 12. It's a late-breaking fan video. They're a stealth weapon. You just never know what's going to happen when they're... Oh!
Hey, citizens, welcome to the show. It's Parrot Wingman Peterson here, and let's talk about my weight a little bit, shall we? Blah, 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 wait.
But I can still have pizza. I just have to scrape the top. Started at 236 pounds. How did we do this week? Well, 2 more pounds, baby! 211!
Yeah.
Let everybody show up to.
Oh, okay, we won't be at. Oh, there goes my head. What?
This week's trophy goes to Cynical Cyanide. Modified it specifically for our purposes.
Ben waded through the forums with hammer in his hand.
Okay.
Redacted. Ben enacted. Removed without a trace.
That is a good idea. Uh-oh.
Good afternoon. Or depending on your worldview, good evening, good morning. Today's prologue is the calm before a rather nasty bit of business. Remember, Hypatia darling, speed is light. Or death, if you're going the wrong way. I'd like to pause for a moment from our narrative in progress.
It's a pack of underwear, and it says only open in case of shart. Do you know what time it is? It's time for
Forum
feedback.
Exactly.
Forum feedback.
What was that? Oh, Ben, what do you think? When's Rob going to update?
When am I going to update?
Oh, well, I can confirm that Rob has now updated the ship stats page.
What? Nose cam. Yeah.
So we're working hard here at Imperium. Bring Gamescom to you.
What's your name on the forums, though?
What are we name? Wildcard 82.
Wildcard 82.
Well, I'm Carsten Becker, call sign Deviatics.
And they're here, and they're citizens. You guys have their citizen cards. Show them in your badges.
Okay, my name is Schism. This is my girlfriend, Mies. Okay. And your tag was?
My tag is Mies.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much for this, I think.
Now I'm gonna hop in my Constellation and fly out of here.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, where are we gonna see you?
It's always fun to look back at some of the silly stuff we did on the show, and it's been fun and always inspired by you. And one of the silliest things we've done has been Hazy Thoughts.
What up, Peterson?
What's up, Mr. Hazy?
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Welcome.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
You too. So you
So this is over, man? Or it's
for now.
winding up?
Yeah, it is, but we're gonna still do more stuff. We're gonna. Ben's got some plans for us in the future. I don't want to give too much away, but it's coming. So
it better be zany.
It better be zany. Let's talk a little bit about Hazy Thoughts. I mean, how'd that come about? Do you remember?
Well, originally, remember we did my interview, and so you had told me like previously, like, hey, just to warn you, your interview's coming up.
Next
so I
week,
started
yeah.
thinking about it, and I remember I had been to my first hookah bar like a couple of weeks prior to that, and I'm like, dude, that would be awesome to do it at a
Totally
hookah bar.
different, right?
So I presented you with it, and you're like, what the hell is a hookah bar?
I didn't know what
I was like, all right, man, well, let's go. I'll show you. And you walk in, you're like, wow, this is interesting.
That was a fun interview. That was probably the most fun interview.
So I talked you into doing it, and it kind of rolled from there. And then I think after that, you guys were kind of brainstorming for bits and stuff. And I think actually Michael came up with the actual Hazy Thought shoot, which was fun.
Yeah.
So we did a first chunk of it, and then we did a huge chunk of it all in one sitting.
Right, so you had to.
And oh my God, by the end of that, man, my brain was just. I mean, just chilling all day, drinking beer, smoking hookah. It was a pretty epic day.
Yeah, well, it was fun because we knew you had been in some of the shows and like some of the vignettes we'd run around the office, and always people will be laughing at something, whether it's hugging the gorilla, or
that was awesome.
or whether I'm like I was at GDC. Remember, I said, I'm sure you guys are all working hard, and you guys were spraying like soda everywhere, and so.
Dude, that gorilla's breath smelled so bad.
Was
I
bad?
just have to say that.
Well,
oh
gorillas,
my God.
you know.
Good Lord.
But so we were like, we got to get you on the show, and you guys actually surprised me. The Hazy Thoughts was you and Morlan went off and did that on your own, and Mike brought me over to the desk and said, you got to take a look at this, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. And we involved the fans, too.
I know, they wrote a lot of those, right?
They wrote a big chunk of them.
And those are fun.
Yeah, they're great, man. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I know I get a lot of response, man. I get a lot of mail, emails saying, oh my God, I loved you at Hazy Thoughts. So now I'm the Hazy Thoughts guy.
I know,
which is awesome.
I'll
take it.
I know, right?
I'll take it. That's great.
I know. You're not just the Hazy Thoughts guy.
Yeah.
You're also the gold shirt guy.
That's true. I am the gold shirt guy.
If we combine a gold hazy thought,
hazy gold shirt guy.
That would work. That would work.
All right. Maybe I'll just rip up my gold shirt and put it in the hookah.
Smoke it out of the hookah. Have when fan visits, they get to smoke a little hookah.
Yeah.
Now there were some. We did have we can't ever show it, but we had some hilarity at your interview that we could never.
Man.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I kind of turned the tables on you. Remember, because I had a couple of questions for you that I couldn't
And maybe one day those will sneak out somewhere, but that was super fun.
That was hilarious, but you couldn't.
No, there are some bloopers out there. So do you have some favorites that ran on there?
Yeah, I actually do. Mike, can you show them? So I wonder, do illiterate people get the full effect of alphabet soup? Why are there 5 syllables in the word monosyllabic? If a synchronized swimmer drowns, do the rest have to drown too? So if you pew-pew at the speed of light, does anything happen? What if Jesse's girl is Stacy's mom? So what is the speed of dark?
So those are always really fun to see, and I'm glad you guys created that. That was really popular. I know Chris even likes those. He was saying, let's put those in there because those are really good times.
Those were fun to do.
They were fun to do. So one thing I think people would like to know is how did the show come together? How was it creating a weekly show? What was involved in that?
Well, once we got through some of the speed bumps at the beginning and I read a good book on show running, on what you do to produce a weekly series or a daily series. And the first step that I discovered is you brainstorm. You brainstorm the week's show. You do this editorial meeting, and where you're all kind of tussling around ideas. And that's where a lot of our stuff came up, was just sitting down and laughing about things. And
things we could put in, things we couldn't.
And it's kind of whatever stuck to the wall kind of worked. And then sometimes we would do a trial balloon where we'd try a new segment on the show, and if it was great, it would stick around.
Creeper Dev. And the thing that I always got was inspiration we got from like Pleasure created the logo for us, and Matt Fawcett did the music. So it was always, again, gets back to the fans creating stuff for us.
And it's always been that kind of contribution, just out of left field. It's like, oh God, this is amazing. Let's use this. And
so it's always cool to see, again, the fan contributions, because Pleasure did our logo and Matt Fawcett did our music. But I think Legante had Jared had something to do with that, right?
Well, Matt wrote this score,
right,
and which was this great thing. He just kind of put it together in MIDI quickly, and then Legante kind of took it and put real instruments to it with one of these libraries that allows you to use a real orchestra, and that was fun. But that wasn't enough. Then Matt managed to get one of his orchestras that he plays in to do an actual live recording, and that's the one we use to this day in the end credits.
So, excuse me, we had the production meeting. And then what would happen then?
So we'd come out of that big brainstorm with a plan, and then I would take that and I would write that into an outline, get everybody's approval, make sure everybody was happy with the course of the show. Then we start writing and start shooting any of the elements that weren't going to happen on the day on the set, especially when we were still doing live.
Right.
So we had to kind of produce those packages ahead of time so we could throw to that element. Started creating some graphics, just as we went along, we'd create a new piece of graphic to go with the new segment. And then every day when we were rolling on Fridays, when we were sending it out in the world on Fridays, we'd get together on Thursday and shoot the show, and then I'd cut it all together, or we'd set up the segments for the live.
So you had a crunch day every week.
Yeah.
One day a week, you're working late putting the show together.
Every year I do at least 50 days of crunch.
Yeah, and then Chris and I would review it like 11 or 12 o'clock at night that night and say, here's a couple changes, and you'd come make the changes, and we'd roll with that.
And then we'd set it up, and either we would, when we were rolling the live stream, we'd just load all those elements up, and we'd just cue them up one by one.
Yeah, the thing is, it takes a lot of effort to coordinate a show, and I have to give you a lot of credit for that, because this is basically, you're the driving force behind the whole thing. We had some favorite moments. The thing that really gets me, and Cologne.
Cologne, that was so. I love doing the remotes. Mm-hmm. Those were so great.
Oh, we did the remote at the
James Webb. We did South by South, the James Webb Space Telescope, and it was just so great, kind of getting out in the world of, hey, here's some real space, and here's some real fans of the game.
Hey, we did Michael Nightingale interview out there too. If you remember, that was fun.
And we had Winglet on.
Winglet was on the show that time as well.
Right. We got him on the first time. But going out to Cologne was amazing, because this was a chance to, seeing everybody's response on the chat roll is one thing, but getting out in the world and
unbelievable.
That
I
was
had
so
no
much
idea.
fun.
We were originally going to have like a geocaching event, if I recall, but that was squashed by the lawyers, as they always do. It was too much of a risk for us, because people would be on our deal and we'd be responsible for them. So we decided to go with a deal at the Hyatt Beer Garden over there with a live forum feedback.
And that was
we
just
thought there'd
something-
be 10 people, 15 max.
We just thought of that off the top of our heads, and we just managed to book the beer garden at the last minute.
Yeah,
and,
we know who
and
did.
send the word
Benedict
out.
did that for us.
Benedict was so much.
Another contribution by the fans, an
Absolutely.
amazing guy.
Well, Benedict and both Benedict
And Christoph.
Christoph were amazing.
Kaji-san was
on
over
the
there as
location.
well, and we had a lot of help over
Everybody
there.
helped. It was so
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. And but the fun part was just walking around Old Town, Cologne, and running into people.
Yeah.
And having a beer and just talking.
A lot of those beers.
Yeah, a lot of
think,
beers.
And then I had strudel. Was it strudel I had, or I had it like every day. I couldn't stop eating. It was amazing. Well, that's when I got off the Wingman's weight issue thing there, which
we won't talk about
no,
that.
we don't need to talk about that.
But
We
yeah,
made
just
one last
putting that
montage.
show together, because we just shot some random elements like climbing to the top of the
Well,
cathedral.
some
and
of you made it to the top.
Some of us made it.
Yeah.
And interviews with people at the show, and just I just threw together a show.
That's right. You were working till that was a very late night for you. And
Yeah, I cut that in my hotel room.
Because that's part of it. Putting a weekly show together is a serious commitment. Anytime there's a vacation coming or anything happening, you've got to plan. In fact, right now, while they're watching the show, I'm actually in Manchester with Foundry 42 and the guys, and we're going over Foundry 42 art tasks and Squadron 42 summit. And so, we've had to do 2 shows this week, essentially.
Well, that's it. If I wanted to take a vacation, I had to do twice the work the week before.
Yeah, that's right. But that's okay. That's part. That's part of being
Part of the
married to
job.
it. Also, did you have any favorite bits? What about anything with some cool music, maybe from France, perhaps?
There was just out of the left field, Brian had done this test of our character, just kind of checking animation movements with a standard kind of test, and he gave it to me to kind of show on the show, and it just looked like he was doing a polka.
Right.
And that's just how we went with it.
Right.
And
So should we roll that? Should we
Yeah,
check out a
let's
little bit of it?
show that to everyone.
All right, let's take a look. So that was fun. That was fun. But that's creative. It's always fun to do this kind of thing.
It was all the random stuff that was just a lot of fun and always had the biggest reaction.
Right. So people would tune in to see what are they going to do this week, and that's kind of fun. And
Oompa Loompa was fun too. I
Oompa
enjoyed
Loompa
it. It was just right out of left field.
Clutch Cargo. That was okay. I'll give myself a little. Okay, so Ben wrote the song.
Yes.
And I came up with the idea of doing the Clutch Cargo list,
Yes.
and you executed on that, and that was really fun too.
Yeah, it was good.
So, but also you did a couple characters on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And Fitzsmithy and Senior Microphono. Do you want to do a send off from Fitzsmithy?
Sure. I'm Alistair Sinclair Fitzsmithy. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night.
That was fun.
That was a good.
That was
I
fun.
enjoyed doing that.
Do you know what else I missed though? The green screen set.
Oh, the green screen set. Well, you know what? Why don't we take a little trip back in time?
Can we do that?
Yeah. You want to go?
Yeah, let's take
go.
a look. Let's go.
Come on.
Wow, nostalgia. This brings back some memories.
Yep. A little bit of magic there.
A little magic. Well, it's pretty much the old set, but it's not quite there. Oh. That's much better. So it's always good to go out kind of the way we came. So coming up this week, we have the Next Great Starships Finals. You guys are going to like it. Get your votes in. There's some really talented people out there. Get that in. Get ready to watch Around the Verse. That show starts on the next week. Now, this show's over. We're transitioning over. They're going to handle it. It's a community-based show. Ben will give you more details. I think, again, as I said earlier, there's a couple posts on the forums about it. Go contribute, be part of it. It's going to be really, really fun and exciting. Be sure you're there. A big special thanks to pledgers and, of course, subscribers.
Everybody who contributed to this show.
Exactly.
Just amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure working with everybody and getting to meet everybody as well. Thank you so much.
You're going to make me cry. Let's not do that. We want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that anything we post up there, you guys get an email and you become part of it. You find out what's going on when it happens and be there. There'll be no more questions for forum feedback for us, but as I said earlier, Ben's got a thread up there for I believe the first guest is Travis.
Travis Day will be up.
Travis is an amazingly talented producer out in Hollywood doing the Arena Commander, and get those questions in for him. He'll be able to answer those for you. Wingman's Hangover, not sure about that. Maybe I gotta find a time that maybe that works. I'm not sure we're gonna contribute that or continue that, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
Well, maybe you can get one last one in from the UK.
Maybe I'll try, but I'm gonna be in meetings at this. It'll be 5 p.m. this time when this airs.
That's true.
And so we'll see. Maybe I can get the UK guys in there with me.
That'd be nice.
Kind of fun. Yeah. So why don't we get everybody in here? We'll say goodbye. Come on in, Mark, Pete, Rob.
Long-haired guy.
Yeah. Come on in, man. Oh, no.
It's so salty.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Good Lord.
All right, guys. Well, that's kind of it. This is episode 72 at the final Wingman's Hangar. So, where are we going to see him? In the verse.
Eric, hey.
Oh, hey.
You okay?
Well, yeah, I just had this most bizarre dream.
Well, we need to get started.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we've done this lots of times before, and people dug it. They really enjoyed it.
Well, there's only a few people watching right now.
Well, yeah, I guess let's get this journey started.
Okay.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Wingman's Nuts!